what I observe unfolding in the Red Sea represents nothing less than the transformation of a regional proxy conflict into a comprehensive challenge to global maritime commerce, while Iranian-backed Houthis systematically target international shipping lanes that carry 12% of global trade, forcing Israel into an expanding military campaign that threatens to destabilize the entire Middle Eastern region, while drawing American naval forces into direct confrontation with Iranian proxy networks operating from mountainous Yemen terrain. The intelligence is clear, crystal clear. Houthi maritime operations against Israeli and international shipping constitute systematic economic warfare designed to pressure Israeli military operations in Gaza while demonstrating Iranian regional influence through proxy capabilities that extend far beyond traditional proxy warfare scenarios. Houthi anti-ship missiles, naval drones, and maritime mining operations create sustained threats to Red Sea navigation that force international shipping to divert around Africa, increasing transportation costs and delivery timelines globally. What troubles me most profoundly is the systematic expansion of Iranian proxy warfare capabilities that enable regional destabilization through non-state actors operating beyond traditional state accountability. Houthis possess sophisticated maritime warfare technology, including anti-ship cruise missiles, unmanned naval vehicles, and coastal defense systems that exceed capabilities of many nation-states, while maintaining plausible deniability for Iranian strategic objectives against Israeli and American interests. I am analyzing intelligence assessments that detail Iranian systematic support for Houthi maritime operations, including technology transfer, operational coordination, and strategic targeting guidance that enables precision strikes against specific vessels. Iranian Revolutionary Guard advisors provide direct operational support for Houthi naval warfare, while Iranian intelligence services coordinate targeting information against Israeli and allied shipping throughout Red Sea corridors. Congressional oversight of American naval operations in the Red Sea reveals systematic inadequacy of current military posture for addressing distributed maritime threats from non-state actors operating from mountainous terrain with extensive underground infrastructure. American naval forces operate under traditional counterterrorism frameworks, while Houthi capabilities exceed conventional terrorist organizations approaching state-level naval warfare capabilities. The economic implications of Red Sea shipping disruption extend beyond immediate transportation costs into systematic supply chain vulnerabilities that affect European energy supplies, Asian manufacturing, and global commodity markets. Red Sea shipping routes connect Asian production with European consumption, while Suez Canal traffic carries approximately $800 billion annually in maritime trade that Houthis can systematically threaten through sustained naval operations. What makes Houthi maritime strategy particularly effective is the systematic integration of asymmetric naval capabilities with mountainous defensive positions that provide strategic depth against Israeli and American retaliation. Houthis operate from dispersed underground facilities throughout Yemen's mountainous terrain while maintaining mobile launcher systems that enable sustained maritime operations despite aerial bombardment and naval interdiction efforts. Regional alliance coordination for Red Sea security faces unprecedented complexity as traditional maritime security frameworks prove inadequate for addressing proxy warfare that operates below clear military conflict thresholds, yet achieves strategic objectives equivalent to state-level naval warfare, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Jordan face different vulnerability levels to Houthi maritime operations while maintaining varying military capabilities for maritime security operations. The Israeli military response to Houthi maritime attacks reveals systematic challenges in projecting power against distributed, non-state actors operating from defensive terrain at significant distances from Israeli territory. Israeli air capabilities excel in precision strikes against fixed targets, while Houthi mobile systems and underground infrastructure limit effectiveness of conventional military responses, requiring sustained operation that exceed Israeli traditional conflict parameters. Intelligence community assessments regarding Houthi capabilities indicate systematic underestimation of Iranian technology transfer and operational coordination that enables sophisticated naval warfare beyond previous proxy warfare scenarios. Houthi naval capabilities include anti-ship ballistic missiles, sea mines, unmanned underwater vehicles, and coastal radar systems that approach conventional naval power while operating through non-state organizational structures. The timeline urgency surrounding Red Sea crisis reflects systematic escalation in Houthi maritime operations that coordinate with broader regional conflicts while creating additional pressure on Israeli military resources already engaged in Gaza operations. Houthis systematically increase attack frequency and sophistication while expanding targeting criteria to include vessels with indirect Israeli connections, creating systematic pressure on international maritime commerce. Regional spillover, the effects of Israel-Yemen conflict include systematic destabilization of maritime security throughout Red Sea approaches while creating precedents for proxy warfare against international shipping that could encourage similar operations in other critical maritime choke points, Strait of Hormuz, Malacca Strait, and other critical shipping routes face similar vulnerabilities to proxy maritime warfare tactics. The humanitarian implications for Yemen civilian populations include systematic exposure to Israeli military operations while Houthis operate from civilian areas, creating inevitable civilian casualties during Israeli retaliation strikes. Yemen's humanitarian crisis already exceeds international response capabilities, while additional military operations compound civilian suffering through infrastructure destruction and humanitarian access limitations. Allied naval coordination for Red Sea security operations faces systematic limitations in sustained maritime operations against distributed threats from mountainous terrain. American, British, and French naval forces provide escort capabilities for commercial shipping while lacking comprehensive capabilities for eliminating Houthi shore-based missile systems and underground infrastructure that enable sustained maritime attacks. The precedent implication of successful Houthi maritime warfare extend beyond regional proxy conflicts into systematic demonstration that non-state actors can achieve strategic objectives against advanced military powers through sustained maritime operations from defensive terrain. This precedent encourages other Iranian proxies, including Hezbollah, Iraqi militias, and Syrian irregular forces, to develop similar capabilities for maritime warfare against Israeli and American interests. Information warfare and coordination rests between Houthis, Iranian media, and regional propaganda networks systematically amplifies Houthi maritime operations while portraying Israeli military responses as disproportionate aggression against Yemeni civilian populations. This information coordination creates international pressure against Israeli military operations while providing political cover for continued Houthi maritime attacks against international shipping. Counter-maritime capabilities that Israel and allied forces possess remain limited for addressing distributed shore-based threats from mountainous terrain with extensive underground infrastructure. Traditional naval warfare assumes conventional naval targets, while Houthi operations combine naval capabilities with guerrilla warfare tactics that limit effectiveness of conventional naval responses. The energy security implications of Red Sea shipping disruption include systematic pressure on European energy supplies that transit through Suez Canal, while creating additional leverage for Iranian energy diplomacy throughout the region. European energy imports depend on Red Sea shipping routes, while alternative transportation methods require significant cost increases and infrastructure development. Diplomatic coordination for Red Sea crisis management reveals systematic limitations in international frameworks for addressing proxy warfare against maritime commerce. United Nations maritime security resolutions prove inadequate for addressing non-state actors operating with state sponsorship, while international maritime law lacks enforcement mechanisms for proxy warfare scenarios. The technological sophistication of Houthi maritime capabilities demonstrates systematic Iranian technology transfer and operational coordination that exceeds traditional proxy relationships. Houthis operate sophisticated radar systems, anti-ship missile batteries, and unmanned naval systems that require advanced technical training and maintenance capabilities that indicate direct Iranian military support. Recovery scenarios from Red Sea shipping disruption require comprehensive maritime security, reconstruction, alternative shipping route development, and sustained international naval presence that exceed current alliance capabilities, while Houthis maintain capabilities for sustained maritime operations from mountainous defensive positions that prove difficult to eliminate through conventional military operations. As I conclude this analysis, I recognize that the Israel-Yemen proxy conflict represents more than regional military confrontation. It represents systematic demonstration that Iranian proxy networks can achieve strategic objectives against advanced military powers through sustained asymmetric operations from defensive terrain while threatening critical global infrastructure that modern commerce depends upon. The decisions made about Red Sea, maritime security, proxy warfare, response, and regional alliance coordination will determine whether Iranian proxy strategies succeed in destabilizing regional security while demonstrating that asymmetric capabilities can neutralize conventional military superiority through sustained operations against critical economic infrastructure.